Hello, you amazing friends. Welcome to live streaming with Ed and Christina Davey. How are you today, Christina Davey?
I am really, really good. Happy to be here with you and having this super interesting conversation as well. Like, hello, I think it's long overdue. What do you think?
Well, it's funny you say this actually, and just as a caveat too, if you're watching this, don't forget how awesome you are. We're streaming on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and which is such a pleasure to have you all with us. Now, it's funny actually. I am not a dating or relationship coach. Christina Davey is. However, I get asked dating questions every day, and Christina, it's amazing. I tell you what, so many women out there are desperate for answers. Have you seen the same thing? I'm sure you have.
Yes, I'm having a lot of conversations on this topic. It seems to be a lack of good men. I don't know what's happening. What do you think? Do you think is the truth, or do you think it's just a perception?
It's an absolute perception. Now, the thing is that it's been a bit of trivia as well, right? And a bit of backstory. So before I met Christina some years ago, I actually entertained the idea of becoming a dating coach. And I even wrote up a little business plan on it and everything. I told you this, remember, Christina? And then I turned around. And then I turned around and said, I'm going to become a LinkedIn guy. I don't want to do this, right? So you're going to leave it to the experts like Christina, right? So again, if you're hiring a dating coach, don't hire me, hire Christina. But here's the thing: I know a lot about this topic because before I met wonderful Lassie, and I'm actually angry at Lassie because I said, why didn't you find me 10 years earlier? I said that to Lassie. It's Lassie's fault. That's just kidding. So my only frustration with Lassie is I met her 10 years. I could have met her 10 years earlier. But the thing that I get is a lot of the things that was done to me is being done to a lot of other men and putting them off. What do you think, Christina?
Look, I really think that there are a lot of good men out there. Look, I work with both single men and women, and the truth is that what we need in a partner nowadays has changed compared
absolutely.
to how it used to be 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, right? When we grew up. And we're not just looking in a man for being a provider, stoic, logic, strong. We also, like, I think women in general need emotional intelligence as well. Knowing how to be present, knowing how to be to listen, to acknowledge, to validate, to appreciate without the fixing, right? And that's a bit harder because we didn't grow up with those role models, if you think about it, right? But here's the catch. So do men. Men also need the emotional intelligence. Men also need acknowledgement, validation, being appreciated and respected. And understanding each other's values will really, really allow us to get to a deeper level of vulnerability. I think, being able to be seen, being able to allow someone to approach you with vulnerability, but also approach them with authenticity and vulnerability really matters. This is when we find the good ones, not just through a perception of what they're at, not just by looking at them really quick and take a snapshot and deciding, this is who this person is and labeling them. What do you think of that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's I think it's absolutely legit. Like I think this is great. Women's expectations for men is much more than what they were 50 years ago. So I think a lot of women are rightfully saying, hey, from a man, I want this, but now I want this, right? So back in the day, it was more like I just need a provider to work and pay the bills. Now I need someone who's handsome, successful, got money, they're emotionally intelligent, they've got all these things. So what I've seen happen, especially over the past 5-10 years is, and when I speak to my female friends and clients all the time, when I say, what do you, and this is one of the big questions that I ask them, right? And this is what and I ask the same thing to men as well, right? I ask the same men and women. I say, they'll say to me, Ed, I'm looking for a good man, right? I'm looking for a good man. Let's say they're female, right? And I'll turn around and I'll say, what are you after a man? They'll give me a huge laundry list of what they want. And you know what I say back to them? You know what I say back to them, don't you?
my what do you bring to the table?
Exactly. And this often creates, and I do it deliberately because I'm not about pacifying my female friends. I'm about helping them. And I just say straight up, okay, you've given me this great list of what you want in a man. Fantastic. Couldn't agree with you more. This is just great, right? I'm all for that. But what do you bring to the table? And you know what I hear often? Just one word answers. Oh, they get me and I'm the prize. And I go, I'm sorry, no deal. I can't accept that answer. If you're going to run around, and this goes for both directions, if you're going to run around and give a laundry list of what you want out of a partner, you got to be clear on what you're giving them in return.
I agree. And I think it's important about becoming aware of not just what we are asking for, but what we are bringing in, and can we co-create what is it that we want to experience in this relationship? Because here's the thing: if I want this man, and I'm someone who is successful, who has mirrored that in a way, because a lot of people think they need to bring in the same thing that the other person does, which is
absolutely not true.
Not true, right? Because as long as we are complementing each other, that's totally okay, right? So if I want, let's just say, oh, I'm successful, I want a successful man. I am having money, I want a man that has money. I am someone who is very well known, I want that in a man as well, and all of that. That's great. But if what I bring into the relationship, it's myself not knowing how to, for example, self-regulate emotionally. And I get triggered a lot, and then I have coping mechanisms where I'm just pulling back. The moment I'm being vulnerable and I'm not being met right away in a way that I expect to be met, and then out of a sudden I feel exposed emotionally, and I have fear of rejection, and then I pull back and run away and, put all these walls around me, then what's a man gonna do?
And this is, and I'm just ripping off what you told me the other day. As the caption is not where have all the men gone. The caption is where have all the good men gone, right? That's the caption, right? I mean, good and great, right? Good men don't take it. They don't. And it's funny, actually. So I'm very lucky. I live in a very expensive part of town, beautiful part of Sydney, Langco. Great place. So do you, by the way. You kick your butt. A beautiful place. And I'm surrounded by low value and high value people. Like, I'm surrounded by a real mixed bag of people. And I see a lot of high value men. I talk to high value men and women all the time. And you know what, high value men, one of the number one things they say to me, high value men, you know what they say to me? You know what they hate the most out of their relationships? You know what they hate?
Tell me.
Drama. They hate it. They don't like it. And do you want to know why they don't like drama? Do you want to know why?
Tell me.
Because successful men are either, like, they're usually running businesses, or like they're big managers in companies. They're high performance people and they're busy winning and doing stuff. And they don't like, as you said before, they don't like being derailed, right? And this is the sort of and you said before, this is the contradiction I'm bringing up, and this is reacting to what you said before. You'll get a woman come in, right? They'll start dating or whatever, and she'll get triggered easily and cause problems and create drama. Then the high value man will go, whoa, I didn't sign up for this. And now it's a high values man's fault. And then you'll hear the lines like, why didn't you fight for me? That sort of thing. So this is where I see it's a bit of an issue, because if you want a high value man, that's great, but it's not for free. You got to be a high value. If you want a good man, you got to be a good woman. And the reverse goes too. If you want to be, I hear a lot of men complaining about women, and they're not really good catchers. And I'm sort of like, you're not really at any competitive level there. What do you think, Christina?
Look, I agree with you. I really think we gotta become aware of what we bring on the table in terms of peace, harmony, understanding, respect, appreciation. It's gotta be both ways. It can't be just one way.
Yes.
Right? If it's if we are asking that but we're not providing that,
Yep.
then there's going to be an imbalance, and
Yep.
because we don't depend on each other anymore like how we used to, in times when, well, I had to have a woman to have kids and have this legacy to leave behind and carry the name and whatever, and I need the woman to take care of the house while I'm going and doing all of that. Now men can take care of themselves as well and can raise kids alone, same as women can take care of themselves, and they can by all means provide and raise kids alone, right? So we got to be mindful that we're not just asking, but we are also offering that compassion, that understanding, that caring that we are asking for. And I think the more balanced we become within ourselves, in terms of developing traits, a variety of different traits, and as empathy, as patience, as the better partner we become. What do you think? Like, if
I think you're spot on, Christina. And you're going to make, before I interrupt you, you're going to make another point, please. You're going to say something else.
Yeah, there's this misunderstanding between the I want to say masculine and feminine, but for those who are not really aware of it, if you don't mind me just
really, that's a good one. If I can jump in, if we can maybe just do a quick segue. This is for everyone, friends, and this is quite important. Can you give us a quick 1-minute masterclass on what masculine and feminine energy is? Quick 1-minute masterclass. Yeah.
Sure. So it's not about gender. It's not about being male or female. It's about two different energies, two different, let's just say, emotional states. Okay. Actually, emotional states is what I will go with, that we have within ourselves. So if I want to have a heart-to-heart conversation, I can choose to step into this certain part of me, right? We just call it feminine side, which is caring, empathetic, understanding, holding space. It's more tapped into intuitively and feelings. We are feeling now, right? Rather than the masculine side of us, which we all have, which is rational, logic, looks for a solution, looks for a target. Okay, what's the goal? I'm going to just stay focused, tunnel focus on the goal and go and reach it, and nothing else matters. Feelings don't matter. I'm just going to park all my feelings. This is what men need to do to go to war and leave their kids and family and farms behind, right? They had to separate themselves from the because they had the goal. While women are more nurturing, they are sometimes physically not as strong as men, right? So they are stronger together. So they're more about community and connection, because if we are connected and we care about each other, we are stronger and we can defend ourselves and we are going to be safe. So there's these two different parts in us that we don't always have awareness of, and sometimes we judge. Like, if I'm a male and I've been raised thinking that it's bullshit and weak to have feelings and to be caring, and like, oh, I don't need this shit, and I just need to be staying focused on what I have to do, go to work, come home, repair what needs to be repaired, have dinner, go to bed, watch football. Right? So now if I'm denying this part of me because I'm judging it inside myself, I will also not be understanding of somebody that shows up with that part of themselves, because I'll be like, it's attractive because it's different, but I'm not understanding it and I'm judging in myself, therefore I'm going to judge it in someone else. And vice versa. Women who are maybe more caring and more empathetic, and they're all about connection and what is that person feeling, right? Don't really sometimes understand the other rational part where, look, I have to take this decision, therefore I'm going to just not being considerate right now, because if I'm being considerate about somebody's feelings, then I'm not going to reach this goal. So I'm just going to park their feelings, and I'm just going to go for this, right? I'm going to be determined and focused. And the logic of it contradicts the feelings. And if a woman has judgment on that part because he's not caring, I used to do this with my husband, my ex-husband, I'll be like, how can you be so uncaring about this person? But he was not, he was just being logic. It's like, if we want this, we do this. And I will judge that part of him because I didn't understand it. So when we become aware of, we all have access to this, but how much do we judge it? How much do we accept it? How much do we understand it? What is this person showing up from? Is this part that I'm showing up from right now, is it helping me in this specific circumstance? And adapt. If it's not useful, can I show up from a different part of me?
Yeah.
So that awareness, that knowledge, these skills of knowing how to navigate from one part to another allows us to have better, healthier connections.
And
not everyone is aware of it.
It's great where you're going, because what you just said actually segues into our next section of today. You said the connections word. That is actually segues into our next section. Do you know what that section is, Christina?
No, we are doing this as we go, so I'm open.
There you go. But and what I did, everyone, I wrote on my PC a little shopping list of what I'm going through with Christina, but I deliberately didn't tell her because I'm just being mean. I just thought I did it. I like Christina squirming a little bit because she's really cool. She can handle it. She's a tough Romanian chick. There we go. Now, the thing that I find interesting is connections and also competition, right? Because there's a lot of people, and again, this topic is, even though the topic is where have all the good men gone, this applies, be it for, gay relationships, men, women. What I'm saying applies, albeit I'm going to take the men's viewpoint here, right? But what happens is that high value people, high value men have choices. They have a lot of choices on the women that they can attract, because chances are high value men are also have a lot of connections. They know a lot of women. And because they are high value, a lot of women are attracted to them. There's competition for them. And I know this one personally. I used to be a real loser at one point, and women wouldn't go near me. And then I sort of pulled my shit together. I attracted amazing women, including legendary Lassie, right? So I can say this firsthand. But a high-value man, appreciate Lassie, thank you. A high-value man, very lucky to have it. A high-value man has choices. There's competition. In Sydney, there's actually more women on the dating market than men. There's an imbalance, massive imbalance. I hear this all the time. So my question
go ahead.
For Christina, and rhetorically and out there, is, if you're a high-value man and the man's got choices, why should he pick you over all the other choices he has? What do you think of that one, Christina?
Alignment. Because you feel aligned. And this is what I'm all about it this year. My word of the year, how people decide on something like that. My word is alignment. Okay.
That's why you're the dating coach. That's why Christina's the dating coach.
So alignment within allowed an alignment outside myself. And now the question is, how do I create alignment? How do I enhance, right?
Can I just jump in? Can you, this is important, can you please, and hello to Charles from Hong Kong. Charles is a great friend of mine from Hong Kong, to see it. Can you just unpack give us a 1-minute masterclass on alignment? What does it mean? This is very important. What does alignment actually mean?
Good question, and thank you so much for, I love your questions, and thank you for allowing me to expand on that. So alignment happens when what I'm seeking, what I'm needing, what I want is outside there as well, right? So what I'm about, what's important to me, it's inside me and it's outside me as well. So in terms of respect, if I value respect, like if we look at values from a point of view of values, like if I value respect, do I have the type of behavior that is respecting other people and do I know how to set standards for others to respect me, right? So am I also respecting other people? So that's alignment within myself and outside of myself, because if I value respect, I have to give it.
Yep.
And I also want to communicate to the other person in what I need in order for that to happen.
So in other words,
Because
we've got to kind of give what we're expecting. Is that what you mean?
yes, yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Yeah.
The
So
other thing,
if I'm dating someone, if I want respect from them, it starts with me respecting them, for example. Is that a fair comment?
yes, absolutely. Another example that I think it's important to give as well, especially for people that are on the dating scene right now, is this. Look, we might want to meet people and we are looking for good, aligned people.
Mm-hmm.
But if we have fear of rejection, fear of being seen, we are not going to really put ourselves in situations that requires the exposure and vulnerability to build the connection to
Yep.
really get to experience
Yeah.
the connection with such person. So if I fear rejection and I think I'm not good enough, will I go out to meet people?
No, you will hide and you won't take any responsibility. I tragically see that all the time.
That's right. So that means, okay, that I'm not in alignment with what I want, because my fear of rejection, it's blocking me from going and pursuing and doing the things that will led me to that. So I'm not in alignment because my fear of rejection, okay, my frequency is that of I am scared I'm not good enough for what I'm asking for. So it's not, if we are not finding in our environment what we are looking for, what's preventing us from going out there where these people are.
And
So if I want to, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to jump in. We're going to have a section on meetup and meeting people in a moment, but I just want to react to what Charles Caldwell said, and he's spot on. I know the demography and there's spot on. There's a lot of reasons for that. This is a great topic. Australia reflects a real demographic trend of women more than men, especially in cities dubbed the Mandurah. This is very true, and I was going to mention this actually, and I get this all the time. So, as you know, I run business networking meetups in Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, and Canberra. They're amazing. They're really big. Every meetup I run, I get approached by women who just arrived in Australia, right? They can be from, where I'm going, right? They can be from Brazil, Ireland, US. I meet so many women who arrive in Australia. They want to immigrate to Australia, right? And they might be from, China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, United States. They can be from anywhere in the world. And you know what a lot of them have actually said to me quietly when they become friends with me? I go, this lady who moved from another country, I won't mention who she is, she said this to me a few days ago. You know what they often say to me, the women?
Tell me.
Hey, Ed, can I be honest with you? Sure you can. Hey, Ed, I actually want to move to Australia. If you know any high-value men that are looking, send them my way.
All right.
And so what I mean is that in Australia, there's so much competition for high-value men, not just from local women, but you got a lot of women coming in who openly tell me straight up when no one's watching, Ed, any high-value men, send them my way.
But here's the thing, right? Like, this is just a perception when we talk about demographically, there are more women than men. Because, okay, look, overall in Australia, there are about 50% women and 49 and something male. So the difference is not that. I was just doing a quick research. Right? So the difference is not that big. In Sydney specifically, actually, there are more, believe it or not, male than women. So our perception is based on where we are exposing ourselves. And on the dating scene, unfortunately, okay, we gotta just say this, a lot of emotionally decent, value-driven men have left the dating apps because they
Oh.
got burned out or they had bad experiences. The same as women too. There are either
Can I react to that with dating apps?
yeah.
And I've spoken to so many men and women about this one. And I'm obviously in a PG LinkedIn sense, I'm going to be brutally honest in a PG sense, right? This is what I've heard from both genders about dating apps, right? From a lot of people on both sides. What men will say is on dating apps, they meet a lot of working girls or girls with OnlyFans accounts that are basically using the dating app as part of their lead generation as working girls. And I think we know what we mean by working girls here, right? Mm-hmm. Now, on the other side, the genuine women that are looking, they say a lot of men that they meet on dating apps are perverts. They're looking for only one thing, which is not a long-term relationship. And I've heard this on both sides, and I don't know what it is. I think dating apps are, now I'm not on dating apps. I'm not into that. I don't care. But I've never met my partner. I don't meet Lassie through a dating app. I think dating apps are disgusting. I think they're just rigged to make money. What do you think, Christina? Because I've seen no evidence of dating apps actually being a good thing.
Look, I have clients who met their partners online. Okay. And I think that online dating, without having the skill to navigate it, can leave a really bad, bitter taste. Right.
So you need the skill to run it.
If I want to use a machinery that I have never used before, right? And I don't know how to use it, but I think, oh, what can be so hard? I'm just going to press this button, move the machine this way, and then just do it, right? Or like cutting wood or whatever. Well, yeah, you might be able to do it, but doing a good job and being able to do it, they're two distinct things because of the results. And online dating apps, unfortunately, not everybody knows how to message, communicate, how to take photos, how to share vulnerably, what to share about themselves. So there's a lot of misunderstanding because all we do is we see a snap, like one, 3, 4 photos of someone who otherwise, if we were to meet at a party and we had a conversation with, we'll get so much more information. We'll hear their voice, we'll see how they are dressed, we'll see how they speak, what they're about. There's a lot more information we're receiving in person than from a profile. So because of that distinction, it's a lot harder to really filter men online. Who am I going to give my time to? Or filter women online? Like out of a sudden you are in all this garden with all these flowers. I'm going to look for the best flower there is. So there's this like, what's the best flower here? And then out of a sudden, it feels like there are no flowers.
I think it's that transactional mindset. Whereas one of the things that I really don't like hearing this is that when you hear, and this scares off a lot of high value men, is that where women talk about a relationship as a business deal, they talk about a transaction. So in other words, my partner has to meet all these requirements and I'm the prize and they get me. I don't have to explain myself, but I'm the prize and they get me. And it just doesn't work because the high value men see that and they're just put off by it. They just don't like it.
Look, I think there's a lot on online dating apps that are a lot of misunderstanding, and people are not. There are two things that are happening. One is they're not willing to learn something different to have different results.
Yeah.
Or they don't stick around enough applying different strategies, okay, after the first disappointment. So if you put yourself online dating and then you like have a few disappointments, like a scammer, people not using photographs that are from I
The
don't know, past
same,
6 months,
the same
right?
decade. Same decade.
Yeah, people that, are approaching you like, hey, would you like to just get laid? Or people that are like, hey, take me out for dinner, unless I go for dinner and you buy me dinner, I don't go. Like situations like that. So there's a lot of
Can I jump in there? It's funny you say that, actually. It's funny you say that. I've been actually watching a few funny videos on Elon Musk's X about this one, where it has the, I'll just say, the not so high value women with a big laundry list of what they demand from a man. And I've seen ones like put out videos on TikTok and all that, and X, where they go, when I have a man, the man has to take me out to dinner and do this, and this. Whereas, in other words, basically the man has to spend $200 or $300 on a date with me just to get to know me. And obviously, obviously they're not going to get too many takers on that. Whereas a lot of men, me included, are like the opposite, saying, no, I think you should, go back to the alignment point, which yourself and Charles also made. We've got Charles Corwell with us, is that my view is you should just catch up for coffee. And if the alignment's there, then you pursue it. I'm not into this whole big date thing. What do you think?
Look, we come with some programming in terms of what should happen when we go on a date. Certain things that are important to us. But as I said, I think often we don't see the other person's or the other sex perception. A man that's actively dating, he could go, on, let's just say, 3 days a week. So what's he's going to do? Like buy 3 dinners to all? Yeah. Some men can't afford that. Some men have financial, or they could afford it, but they don't want to allocate the budget because they have financial goals. So if I'm filtering men based on, is he taking me out to dinner or not on the first date, then I could potentially miss out on a lot of great men because of that one rule.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really think that the first day should be low key. Unless you know the person from before, just low key, really quick coffee or video call. For someone who does online dating, video call, I think it's the best, way, because it can be 5-10 minutes, So for someone who doesn't have a lot of time, it's like this. You don't
have... Just jumping in, I haven't heard that. I love that. I think a video call is great. Like, it just, don't even meet for coffee. Jump on a video call before you take it further. I think it's just jump on a WhatsApp video call or something.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. And then you screen and see, like, okay, am I curious to get to know this person, right? Or there's no point.
And on that note, if the person refuses to have a video call, that's a massive red flag. That's a big red flag.
Absolutely. What the reason is, lack of confidence, they don't like to see themselves on the camera, they don't know how to use a video software application, whatever what that excuse is. It's like, for me, it's just simply not enough, because I'm looking for someone who feels comfortable on the camera, who feels confident to show up on a video call, and who knows how to, find a way to have a video call with me, right? So I really think that, look, dating apps, it's amplifying boldness over emotional depth, charisma over consistency, availability over readiness, and good men who are thoughtful and slower or emotionally cautious, often they don't know how to sell themselves. They undersell themselves. They don't play the game very well. They don't know the game. Some of them don't even have experience. They just finished a divorce or, separation or whatever. Like, they haven't been on the dating. Like, if you look at people who are 40, 50, they might have not even been on the dating scene for a while. So they don't know how to play the game well. Let's call it game, or how to be on the dating scene. And they get overlooked sometimes next to other, let's just say, options, right? People who have charisma, for example.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean that they don't exist. It just means that they don't know people online dating. They don't know how to filter, and how to present themselves not to advertise, but how to present themselves and connect in a way that's meaningful, and creates attraction and connection.
Yeah, because this is the and just a quick hello, we've got our great friend Miss Sushi with us. Big wave to Miss Sushi. Miss Sushi is one of our great friends from Singapore. Good seeing you, Miss Sushi. We got also got Charles, Miss Sushi, All-Star Lunch. Great to see you, Miss Sushi. Now, and this is where I know the topic is where have all the good men's gone, but I'm gonna go and attack men now, right? And I see this all the time with men, right? See this all the time with men. I'll meet a man that will basically turn around and say, oh my God, I can't find any decent women around here. And the moment I hear that, I'm sort of folding my arms and I'm in judgment mode, right? I immediately fold my arms and I'm now looking him over. I'm in full judgment mode.
So what are they saying? Sorry, I caught
So I'll meet a man and they'll say to me the opposite, right? They'll say to me, Ed, I can't meet any decent women. The moment I hear that, I fold my arms, and that's a red flag thing to hear. That's a real red flag thing to hear. And immediately, like that meme of the African boy staring at the lady, that African boy, I'm already skeptical. I'm like holding my water bottle staring. And depending on my relationship with that person, I'll say the same thing back to them. I'll say, well, what value are you giving to women? What value are you giving to a potential partner? And I'll usually get that sort of brain scrambled look, right?
I never asked.
Thank God Lassie didn't ask. Lassie didn't ask.
Yeah,
but men will just say, I'll just say, what value are you giving to a woman?
And look, I think there are a lot of genuinely good men out there, but I do think that there are many people that are not as emotionally available as they think they are. That's one thing. And that goes on both, because just saying I'm ready or I'm available doesn't make it so. We use protection mechanisms, right? Because we want to, the main primary function of our brain is to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
To protect us, right? Sorry. So that comes first. I don't want to feel hurt. I don't want to. So therefore, at the first sign of red flag, instead of understanding it, where it came from and what happened, is we tend to judge. We all, most of us do it, right? Like, we just gotta be frank. And I don't think that sometimes we are ready to choose. People don't even have clarity in terms of who they want to be with or what type of relationship. I ask this question on all my calls, what do you want to experience in a relationship? Like, what is it your relationship vision about? And people start telling me about the partner. I'm like, no. What do you want to actually experience in that relationship vision? What are your goals? What's the relationship about? And one thing that often gets missed is people look for chemistry. Okay, people look for chemistry and they don't look for, are we compatible? Are we compatible with where we are, not just from an emotional point, but where we are in our life right now, where we are going from here? Do we have the same relationship goals, right? So we gotta look at compatibility beyond the programming we had from childhood and really start looking at compatibility of who we are right now, after we've been through divorce, after we raised kids, after we lost properties, after we've been successful in businesses, after, who do I really need now?
Yeah.
Because do I need this successful man that doesn't have any emotional, that doesn't know how to, doesn't have the capacity to hold me emotionally when I'm going through something, or support me? Is that what I want? Or is it okay that maybe if I understand that I did not show up one time with empathy, is it possible that someone else maybe didn't have awareness that I need empathy in that moment, and they didn't show up with empathy either? Do I need to judge them, or do I need to understand them? And do I need to continue to express my feelings? I don't know if this is too deep, but
No. We're here to have deep conversations, not just say superficial, social media stuff. We're here to peel the layers of the onion, so to speak.
Yeah. So look, I really believe that understanding ourselves and our emotional needs is allowing us to be in more alignment with who we choose as a partner. What do you think?
Oh, I think it's really important. I think having that alignment, and this is a really sad. I see this a lot, and this makes me sad. Right? I take no joy in seeing this. So I meet a lot of women who are in their late 30s, early 40s, and they have a bit of a tragic backstory, right? Which unfortunately in a way you kind of covered off on it, and it's their fault to a point. Yeah, where they'll have, let's say they're 30, they'll have a partner in their 30s, and they want to, where I'm going right with the story. They want to have kids. Then eventually, once it hits sort of 35, push comes to shove, and they go, well, we're going to have kids or not. And then the man says, I don't want to have kids. I'm out of here, right? And that, again, you're fighting biology here, right? Biology is a huge factor. The biology clock does not care about feminism or your career guidelines or how much you want to travel. It's biology. It does not care, right? And it's really sad, because then you get these legendary women who, I hate to say it, in a way, they've kind of wasted a lot of their time with the wrong man, and they want to have kids and have a family, but now they're behind the 8 ball. I deal with so many legendary women like that. And it's kind of sad, because, they, in their minds, they felt like they were with a man with a shared vision, but it turns out that wasn't the case. So what you said is absolutely spot on.
And it will happen. Look, when we date, we're not who we are when we start the dating process. Let's just say we start to date in January, right? We're not the same person as who we're going to be in June of the same year, because meanwhile we go through certain experiences that are changing us, right? So I think we need to we really need to understand that dating it's more delicate and complex than we would like to think. We think it's easy. We think we're just gonna put ourselves out there and that's it. Yeah. But it's a lot more complex. And I like what Charles is saying. Charles is saying dating culture in Latin America is often influenced by machismo, or traditional gender roles, where men are expected to pursue women and initiate interactions. And here's a catch with that, right? So I like what Charles says. I like what he shared.
I think Charles is on the money. Absolutely on the money.
Yeah, and look, yes, it's true. There are certain expectations, but those men who are that masculine and that like they will just go into like, okay, I'm going to go for what I want, and right, they might also not show up with the compassion and empathy, because they might have not developed the feminine part in them to allow them to be softer and understanding of the feminine side and knowing how.
And on a funny note, you're describing me when I met Lassie. You're actually describing the same dynamic of me when I met Lassie.
So women tend to be a bit more sensitive because they're more in touch with their feelings, unless they are really women who are more present in their masculine energy. So they are like a delicate flower, and then here comes the man who is like the strong wind, and the flower is losing some petals in the interaction, though is enjoying the breeze. The man comes with the wind, not the breeze, because it doesn't have awareness around understanding.
One thing I'm going to say, though, and I'm totally in this, is that I think men should initiate. Like, if a woman wants to initiate a relationship, knock yourself out. But as a general rule of thumb, I think if a man meets a woman he likes, right, he should go after her. And if he doesn't and she moves on, that's on him. That's my take on it.
So there is a certain programming that's telling us that it doesn't have, and it sets a dynamic that it's widely recognized as functioning well in a relationship where um, because the man is leading into the relationship certain aspects, certain parts, then the woman gets to relax, feel safe enough. And then because she's relaxing, because she doesn't have to plan, she doesn't have to worry about the logistical part of it, which are not in the feminine nature. I'm not talking men and women, I'm talking the feminine nature. A feminine woman, it's not so skilled at, unless she developed the masculine side as well. She's not as skilled as planning, as operational, logistical detail to if for her to be planning a day, she needs to transition into her masculine side, which means she's going to be less warm, less affectionate, less intuitive, less kind, and laughing, and just be radiant, and just be. She's not going to be there anymore. If she has to initiate and make a plan and come up with a strategy, she's going to be masculine, and you're going to have a masculine woman that is not going to be very attractive. So you're killing the dynamic.
Yeah. So you agree. So I think because and I'm going to attack men now. So I'm now going to go.
We're not attacking anyone. We're discussing.
I'm attacking both sides. So there you go. I like to attack both sides and also attack myself.
Challenging.
There you go. There you go. Challenge is much better word. And my challenge to men, and I actually have told off a lot of men in my time on this one, right? I said, like, if a woman says this to me, I play a very it's me talking to a female, right? If a woman asks me, I'll take a very nurturing, sort of pleasant approach to it. If a man asks me this, I'll kind of, in a way, grab him and him up and sort of scream at him, right? Proverbially speaking. And it's like, look, if you're going to sit here and say we're all the good women and all that, well, there's two things. You need to be worthy enough of a good woman. So what are you doing about that? Question one, right? And point number two is, well, are you going to places where you're going to meet the right women, and are you actually talking to women in a respectful way? And a lot of men won't pass those two tests I throw up, right? I'll say, hey, they're either not that valuable, either they're not a very good catch, so it's like, why bother? I wouldn't bother if I was a woman. Or two, they're taking a very passive approach to it, like, oh, where are all the good women? They're not actually doing anything about it. And I don't like that trait. As a man who's obviously a little bit masculine, I don't like that at all. That kind of annoys me. What do you think?
Look, I think we don't need to be. It's not about being worthy. I think it's again about being aligned. Yeah. If I want this man or this woman, am I in alignment with them?
Yeah.
So like, I think what I would like to invite everyone really is to be curious, to approach the other gender with more curiosity and more understanding and curiosity to learn about the opposite sex. We show up the way we show up when we date because of our perception, our past references, our past experiences, where we grew up, and not everything is aligned. Like, look, there are people out there that are happy to just enjoy life and take it easy and just go this, just life, it's a breeze. I don't want to chase goals. I just want to enjoy life and be happy and take it easy.
I can't handle that, Christina. That's killing me. You talking about that, it's giving me cancer. I can't handle that.
But it's not right or wrong. It just is, right?
It is.
And then,
it is what it is. It is what it is.
And then you have someone who is super driven and is wants to have impact and wants to create, a lot of, I don't know, wealth or whatever, what impact. Yeah. And you put them together, there's gonna be gaps, in and one is going to feel like it's pulling the carriage towards a direction and the other one in the other direction. So
I just want to jump in. Charles has got some good stats. Thank you, Charles. It's like a page. Charles is giving me all the stats. So Charles is giving some actual stats that backs up what I was poorly trying to say before. Thank you, Charles, for saving my uneducated ass. So I've seen this a lot. I've seen this in Australia too. So 2022 Pew Research Center survey found 63% of men under 30 in the US are single and are not actively looking for relationships, compared to only 34% of young women. Now, I've seen similar stats in Australia. I didn't bring them to this, but it wouldn't be hard for anyone to dig up such stats. So even though there's the same number of men and women, you've got a difference in demand. You've got now men are less in demand of relationships compared to women. So you got a lot of men. I've met a lot of men who they're just not interested in dating, even young men. They're not interested in dating. They're like, oh, I'm staying out of this. I'm not chasing this. That's a huge problem if you've got this huge mismatch.
Absolutely. Dating goals are very different at different age, and especially in terms of, again, genders as well. Like women in most instances look for connection and safety when they date. Men look for, what do you think men look for?
Looks, attractiveness, are they going to put out? Unfortunately, that's what men look for.
We never like we don't have the same needs, but if we can give each other what we need, we both win.
Yeah.
Is this making sense? If the man gives the connection and the safety that a woman needs in order for her to get to a level of like, okay, I want to have sex with this guy, then he's a winner anyway, because he just gave her something. And if the woman is giving the respect and appreciation and understanding to the man, then he's sticking around a lot more than like just not.
Yeah. Now I'm going to call Charles. I'm going to call him Red Pill Charles. Charles has got all the stats, right? I think you should live stream with Charles. He knows it's better than me. Charles is just pulling out. We love you, Charles. And a bit of trivia: Charles Caldwell's an old friend of mine from Hong Kong. So everyone, please connect with Charles on LinkedIn. He's a great guy. Charles networking Zoom tonight too if you're around. And it's funny actually. He's busy pulling stats on what we're talking about. I want to react to this. I'm going to call him right-wing red pill Charles. So Charles is going to rock up with the Trump hat next time. But this is true. Online dating has created an environment where a small percentage of men receive the majority of interest, while most men get very few matches. That is true. This low return on efforts leads to frustration, burnout, and men checking out the process entirely. That is very true. And this other point I want to throw, love to get your reaction. Men, and this is true, by the way, it's very true. Men aren't initiating dates due to increased fear of being seen, creepy, fear of rejection, fear of online backlash, shifting social priorities, past negative experience, blah, blah, blah. Because that's the thing. And this is where, if a man isn't careful of how he approaches a woman, he can get accused of sexual harassment. He can lose his job. He can get shamed online. So there's actually a lot of barriers.
I agree.
Which are discouraging men. So you got women saying, I want to have a relationship, but not their fault, but you have all these societal barriers inhibiting men from doing that. Yeah, what do you think of all that? And we're going to call you Right-Wing Charles. He's now Right-Wing Red Pill Charles. There you go. That's your new nickname.
I do agree with Charles. There's a lot of risk for men nowadays in approaching women. And I think really from where I'm standing, my perception is that women need to learn to respond instead of react to what men actions, are. So if a man is approaching a woman for sex on online dating, we can be like, killing the phone, or slamming him, getting up, leaving the restaurant, or we could just be like,
you do that really well, Christina. You should go to acting. We should. You know what? You and I should have our own Netflix show. We'd have a good one. A Netflix show. That would be really good.
We can react that way, or we could respond with like a smart, funny answer. Hey, it's flattering that you want me this way, but you might need to, I don't know, jump through a few more, hoops to get there. Or you could be just honest and be like, I'm not quite there yet.
Yeah, I'm
Right?
yeah.
I need to connect with you first. I need to get to know you first, which tells you really that her standards are, look, I need to get to know a person and see if I'm aligned before I'm jumping in bed, and let them be in so vulnerably and intimately. So it's just, it's showing higher standards of connection, right? So I really think that instead of reacting, if women are responding, and we're not approaching what someone says or does with indignation, with conflict, but rather with, hey, I'm okay, I know who I am, I know what I'm about, and I'm here to communicate to the other person's standards. I'm not here to slam them with it, right, and make them feel wrong. I'm here to get to know this person and to allow them to get to know me, and we go from there. So if somebody's approaching me with wanted sex, which I have been approached with that, on rare occasions, not so much, maybe, I don't know, because of the respect,
I imagine guys would be hitting you up 8 or 9 times a day, right, Christina? There you go.
But I had someone approaching me about wanting a relationship with me, and really, in fact, wanted sex. And I just communicated. I said, look, for me, first, I need to know that we are aligned before we get there. So I'm dating with intention. So my intention here is not just to connect randomly, is to find alignment and have a relationship with someone, getting married, and so on. Are you in the same, are our dating goals align?
Yeah. I love that. And this actually brings me to sort of and we're going to talk about your events, and this brings me to sort of the end point I wanted to talk about. So we've spoken a bit about online dating, but one thing I've said to people, and I say this all the time, this is me talking as a meetup leader. So in addition to LinkedIn and all the political stuff we do, one thing that for everyone watching is that Christina and I both run really big business networking meetups and social meetups. So meetup.com is a massive global events platform. I'm now one of the biggest in Australia for Meetup, which I'm really happy about. Christina's massive in Sydney. And one thing, and this is how I met Lassie, and this is how I've encouraged a lot of people to successfully meet people, and Christina does the same thing. If online dating isn't for you, which I imagine it's not really for anyone, it's more tolerated, go to meetups, go to events. Don't sit at home or just hang out with your friends and go, where is a good man or a good woman or whatever you're into. Go to events, go to places, meet people, feel that chemistry. I can tell by your body language you totally do agree, Christina. Take it away, Christina.
100%. Like, do the good men know I exist? And do the women I'm looking for know I exist? Am I placing myself in those events? But not just that, it's not enough to just go to these events. Do I have the skill of knowing how to interact with a man? Because look, I work with a woman who will go to events, she's highly social, but when it comes to chatting to men, she has fear of rejection, so she's not approaching men of a higher caliber. She's approaching only men who she feels are not as good as her, just to confirm what she believes, which is men are not good.
Yeah, and you make a good point, because if you want a high value partner, you got to risk rejection. You got to get, and I hate to say it, I'm going to sound like right wing Charles, right? Red pill Charles. Is if you want a high value partner, you got to you have to be okay with being rejected. You have to be okay with people saying no to you. And I think you need to get used to that, and you got to get over it. I hate to say it, you got to build a bridge. I used to really fear rejection, and that was totally my fault. And the moment you get over, I think the moment you get over fear of rejection, that creates a new chapter in your life. What do you think, Christina?
100%. Fear of rejection is massive,
Wow.
massive. Fear of intimacy and vulnerability is massive as well on the dating scene. And we gotta really understand that when we are dating in our 40s and 50s and 60s, right, which is so common, and this is, these are the ages I usually work with and I support in on the dating scene. These
Most
people
questions come from women in their late 30s and 40s. They're the ones that, be it clients or friends, they talk to me saying, Ed, I want an honest, Ed, I trust you and I like you, but they're friends, right? Ed, can you tell me honestly what men are thinking? And I'm the first one to tell them. And so you're spot on, but you're right. It's always it's women in their 30s, 40s and 50s that I get a lot of this from.
Yeah, and one thing that we need to understand is that at this age, sometimes we have been through divorce, we have been through betrayal, through hurt, through burnout, through loss, and people want partnership, but they're scared of getting it wrong again. They don't want to go through the emotional roller coaster of a breakup, the splitting assets, the raising kids without without the other parent being involved. For women especially, having kids with multiple partners, having 3 kids with 3 different partners, there's a lot of judgment around that as well. And look, I really think that men are good. Men are good. There are a lot of high value men. They're just not on the dating scene because of what Charles was saying. All these fears of being, getting it wrong, fear of failure, fear of being judged, fear of being rejected, and ultimately feel seen, be vulnerable, and is not received the right way, right? It's rather like doom 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 slap a little bit. So
Charles, just on that, Charles made a good point, and Red Pill Charles made a good point, and I love this one, right? It's the same with sales. Get past the fear of rejection, you'll start closing business. That's a viewpoint that I share. So I say this to men, women, look, all bad things have happened to all of us, and I'm sorry bad things have happened to you. But hey, you got to build a bridge and get over it. You really got to build a bridge and get over it. And you got to get over your fear of rejection. And I used to have terrible fears of rejection, and I used to be stuck in the past. So don't be stuck in the past and get over your fear of rejection. And of course, the best way of doing that is by hiring Christina Davey. Is that right, Christina?
Absolutely.
Yeah, give Christina some money and she'll give you the transformation.
A coach would allow you to see what you're not able to see, or to resolve what you haven't been able to resolve. When a woman becomes emotionally literate, self-aware, clear on her needs, and no longer willing to chase or to just settle when her needs are not being fulfilled, then she often outgrows, the bad experiences, and I think this is what everybody needs to, and I will write this down if I could, if you listen to this. Good men, good women exist. Good men and women exist, high value men and women exist, but the rooms are changing when you change. So what I mean by that, when you change where you show up and who you interact with, then you're gonna have more high value people around you.
Yeah, it's funny you're describing me before I met Lassie, because before I met Lassie, I actually said to myself, I'm a bit of a loser, and that's not, being a loser is not my style, right? It's not. I don't identify as, it's not my style, right? And I actually changed a lot of my mindset to what you're saying now, a decade ago. And interestingly, it changed my whole world the moment I said I don't really care about my past anymore, and I don't care about rejection. It started a whole new world for me. And I can't say this enough to anyone listening. I can't say this enough, is if you're stuck in the past, don't get over it. focus on the next steps. And I just want to mention, Christina, as well, you have this cool event coming up. I just want to make sure we don't miss that. What's this cool event you've got coming up? Tell us a bit about that.
Look, it's Align for Love. It's an in-person event in Sydney. We are hosting this on the 31st of January at the Bondi Pavilion from 10 to 1:30. It's a 3.5-hour event. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak about this, where we are trying to help people become aligned with what they're asking for, with what they're searching for. Just as I was saying earlier, within and outside themselves. So tickets, we still have some tickets available. I'm going to leave a link in here for everyone who is interested. They start from, I think it's $60 to $90. Okay. What I'm going to do is actually something really special, because I love and I'm enjoying this so much. To anybody watching this, I'm going to have a discount code. It's aligned to Love to You. That's going to give a $30 discount. So you can get a ticket for about $64, and you can have a transformation. You can have, this is not just a seminar where you go and listen. This is an experience that we're trying to create. So we're going to work with the mind, the body, and the spirit. So we are going to align you on all 3 levels. And it's really about showing up with self-honesty and really being understanding of what is blocking me right now from the alignment I'm looking for.
I like that. I like that. And what I love about you, Christina, and obviously the live stream demonstrate this, is I've said this to you before, you're based. Do you know what the word based means?
Well, I'm missing the context. So could you tell?
So what I love about Christina Davey compared to a lot of other dating coaches, and I know a lot of them out there, is Christina Davey is based, and based means lives in reality. So I've met a lot of dating coaches. You'll have dating coaches over the years who are based and who are not based, right? So based means they live in the world of reality and they look at things logically and objectively, right? However, I've met others who are not based at all. They're more like, oh, just visualize what you're after, it'll happen, do this and do that. And they don't get results. So what I love about Christina is Christina Davey is very based. And interestingly, I've given Christina a little bit of a hard time in this live stream. And every curveball I've lobbed at Christina, she's just slammed it back in my face nice and hard. And that's why we love you, Christina. I've thrown a few curveballs at you and effortlessly you just slammed them right back at me, which is why we love you.
I love our conversations every time when we do them, and I'm very grateful for your time today. I truly appreciate you and Lassie. You have been so supportive to me, and your business networking communities. Oh my God. Or either if you show up online, either if you show up in person, I really truly believe it's the best. It's about connection and alignment, meeting someone, who can support you. And also, like, can I just say, and I actually want to say, I'm not even going to ask permission. I'm just going to do it. If you're looking for
anything that'll get me to lose my LinkedIn account, just say, let's keep it LinkedIn.
If you're looking for support in terms of your business, exposure on LinkedIn, knowledge about how to, become more visible on LinkedIn, make sure you connect with Edward and Lassie. They have been a tremendous support to me and my business and my clients. They can connect you with the right people, with the right venues. It's just really, and they are everywhere. I mean, you are in Perth, you are in Brisbane, you are in Canberra. So I'm very.
Sorry to interrupt. I forgot to mention as well. You just reminded me, which is why I'm jumping in. So you've got this event coming up. So obviously, everyone, please connect with Christina on LinkedIn or Facebook to learn more. Also, too, Christina, you also run your social mixer meetup. Just tell us. You just reminded me. Please tell us a bit about your Sydney social mixer. How does it work? What does it do? How do people book into it? Give us a quick overview on that one.
Look, I came up with this idea inspired by you because I noticed what's happening at your events. So I thought, like, how I have all these people asking me, how can I meet someone? How can I meet someone? And I was like, you know what? Let me just create an event where people can just come casually and just connect and build friendships first. So this is not a dating event. This is actually an event where you come and socially network. So bring your vibrant, fun version of yourself, your relaxed, part of you, and come on every first Friday of the month at the Pump House Bar and Restaurant in Darling Harbour. The next one is
part of, just on that one, the Pump House Bar and Restaurant is part of Novotel Sydney on Darling Square, which is right near right on Darling Harbour, near Chinatown and near the ICC. So it's part of Novotel Sydney Darling Square. Sorry.
And we love Novotel, right? They are
Novotel.
amazing. we definitely do. And look, come and on our next one, it's on the 6th of February at 6:30 to 9:30. The vibe, it's insane. Like I literally, like, it's just getting so big and so packed, and people, I get great feedback, and it's just going to grow bigger and bigger. So don't hesitate to join us. Join the Sydney Social Connections on Meetup, because you're going to see all the events up to June if you can't make it on February.
People go to meetup.com. It's called Sydney Social Connections. Is that right?
That's correct. I'm going to leave a link in here in the comments as soon as we finish. Look, if you want to find align love, you gotta expose yourself to places. Harbour After Dark, it's a great place to come. Being aligned for love on the dating scene right now, it's about showing up as a whole, conscious, emotionally intelligent person. Okay, so and that means that if you view yourself this way, it means that you should allow yourself as well to be out there so people can experience who you are as a person. So Harbour After Dark is perfect for that. And Align for Love, don't forget.
And just on that, I want to make this point very clear as well. And again, especially when a lot of women ask me this as well, right? And as Charles had the stats, even though there's the same number of men and women, there's more women looking for relationships than men. So there's an imbalance in demand, right? But what I say to women, all women, right, is that, if you are looking for a real relationship with real people, is if you're in Sydney, speak to Christina and go to a meetup. If you're not, speak to Christina and, but I always say going to events and meeting people. I'm going to sound very old now, which I am. I don't like online dating. I don't like it because my more purist view is it's better to go to actual events with friends, meet up, people in your community, and actually meet people for real. Because when you meet people for real, you can the natural fit sort of occurs organically. So I think the beauty about your meetup is people can go there. It's not a dating meetup. It's just a social meetup. And again, people aren't stupid. People know when they meet and there's a real connection there. And I say this to you, if you meet someone, there's a real connection, don't be a chicken and don't fear rejection. Feel free to put your best foot forward. What do you think, Christina?
I love it. And you said something actually that really stayed with me. This is so big. You just said, you talked about an unbalanced when it comes to relationship. It's remember how we're talking about the perception of there are more women than men. It's not that statistically anyway.
The difference in demand.
There's a difference in wanting to be in a relationship or not.
Difference in demand.
Women, you just said more women want to be in a relationship than men. Because they appreciate what the relationship brings to the table. So look, I'm so grateful for this time. I enjoy our conversation. They're so brain stimulating, right? And thank you to Charles as well, and to James. I like what James is saying as well. Always take the time to listen to both sides. Why do I say that? Because you have to take into consideration that someone may need your help more than you know. I love that. So, for those who are interested in coming to Align for Love, look, I really think you should come because dating advice alone is not working, okay? Because alignment attracts because alignment creates attraction without chasing, and because it helps you recognize the right person earlier and the blockage. What is it within yourself that's blocking it? Because if it's within you, okay, even if it's just not knowing where to go, then it's in your power to change it. That's empowering to me.
And I always say this as well, is I was saying this to one of my friends the other day at one of our meetups, is that female friends, is that, you know, if it feels good, do it. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. Because I'll have a lot of, and again, we got to finish up shortly, so I'm not diving into this, but I'll have a lot of women saying, Ed, you know, the whole sex on first date thing, Ed, should I do this? Should I do that? And my question is, you've got your own sense of morality, right? You've got your own sense. I'm not here to tell anyone their sense of morality. That's between you and God, right? But everyone's got their own sense of morality. So just because everyone else is doing it doesn't mean you have to do it, okay? Or just because you think society expects this. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. If you do want to do it, then do it. I think it's very important. I think it's very important that don't let anyone pressure you into doing something you don't want to do. What do you think, Christina?
I agree.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, there you go. Now we're going to finish up now because we've been here. I could speak to Christina all day, but then I'll probably get my account restricted. Christina, before we finish, do you want to give us a quick 30-second closing thoughts monologue with some ideas you want to share with our audience?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's going to be just a quick one. I think that if we lack belief that it's going to happen, then we are not going to do much about it. And that applies not just in finding love or a partner or having the relationship, but, you know, business or as a parent or anything else, losing weight, having good health. Relationships are how to navigate a relationship or the dating scene. It's a skill that is progressing. The more we do, the more exposure we have to understanding ourselves, understanding the opposite sex, or, you know, whoever is it that we are dating, right? So it's a continuous growth. And when we start appreciating the progress we are making on the dating scene instead of the experiences we have so far, that will allow us to find the motivation to keep going, to get until we get even more clarity and even more alignment to have the possibility of experiencing the relationship that we want.
Oh my God. So well said. Can we have Christina Davey? Christina Davey, big thank you. And to you watching, it's good. So again, best thing to do is, again, from a dating relationship point of view and getting into Christina's message, please connect with Christina. Of course, if you need any help on LinkedIn or with business networking, myself is your man. And also honorable mention to Lassie as well. Connect with Lassie too. And Christina, what was on your mind?
I was gonna say, and if you want to meet, you know, if you are in a business and or career driven, and you want to meet, you know, more people, come at Edward and Lassie's business networking group as well, because you kill two birds with one stone. You meet a lot of professionals for the business or your career, and you also have the opportunity to meet someone who might be a lot more aligned with what you're looking for. So come on the 6th of February at 1 o'clock at Novotel Darling Harbour, because it's going to rock as usual.
And then in the evening, wander down the road to Novotel Sydney on Darling Square to start a hot and spicy evening in style. So it sounds good. Thank you so much, Christina. Thank you to our fans. Christina, you are an amazing woman. Keep up your legendary work, and thank you for what you do for all of us. Love your work, Christina.
Thank you so much, Edward. I appreciate you.
Pleasure. Stay awesome, friends, and keep winning.